Hey everybody, this is Paul Esden Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. It's been a hot second since I've seen you guys. We haven't seen you guys since last week when we were doing the Jet Zone. And you're going to notice a brand new microphone, brand new pop filter. Yes, we've upgraded the studio, so I hope you guys appreciate the quality, the headphones. We got the whole shish kebab here for this week's episode of the Jet Zone, a weekly New York Jets podcast, which is streaming live simultaneously right now on our Facebook page, The Jet Zone, on our Twitter account, at The Jets_Zone, and of course, live on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. Welcome, everybody, to the program. I hope you guys love the new boost. Like I said, the quality is rising and so many other things. So thank you so much. Throughout today's show, make sure you guys jump in the comments, ask questions, ask topics, because we're going to be talking about the latest in New York Jets OTAs and Zach Wilson being stacked, being thick, being all beefed up. We're going to be talking about all that here on the show as well. So like I said, feel free to drop in additional questions, comments, what you may have on the mind that we can discuss here on today's show. So feel free to do that. Again, this is the earliest Jet Zone episode ever. I did not have my radio show this morning because of Syracuse Mets baseball. So I said, hey, you know what? Let's do the Jet Zone early today and let's get some morning Jet Zone action. This audio will also be later uploaded to Sports War Radio for all our audio-only listeners. And again, if you prefer that medium, feel free to listen and download and subscribe to the Jet Zone wherever you get your podcasts. I've been loving, by the way, candidly, doing the video stream. I think it's just cool. You guys can see my face. I can see your comments, and it's a really cool interactive thing. Before we get started, before I get to the comments, before I get to the whole show, I have to do a couple shameless plugs. First off, of course, wherever you're watching us, make sure you show your support, whether it's on the Facebook page, the Jet Zone, give a thumbs up, hit the follow button on Twitter, at BoyGreen25 on the scrolling ticker, and also at the Jets_Zone, and of course on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button and hit subscribe, and make sure you show your support. But there's a new way you guys can show your support, and quite frankly, it is one of the reasons that you're seeing the brand new mic and all of this brand new setup, okay? It is official. For the first time ever, we've got an official Boy Green store, official merch. People have been asking for this for months. They've been asking for years, quite frankly, if there was merch that I had that people could buy and support the show. Now, you have seen me in the past support other people's merch. ZachWilsonIsGood.com. We did the 8-bit U Stadium Zach Wilson shirt. I've supported other brands. And again, you guys should always do that and support local. But there's a way now that you can support Boy Green's brand. And I'm going to throw it up on the screen. If you're watching the YouTube video or the live stream, wherever it's happening, you will see a mini logo up in the corner. And I am going to bring it full screen now for you guys. This is my new Boy Green logo. It's something I've been working on behind the scenes for a while. It's got the glasses. I will describe it for our audio listeners. Okay, we got new shades where it has boy and green in both of the lenses. You see the big burly beard and all that fun jazz. That is my brand new logo, and I got to give a shout out to Joe Branham of Ram Showcase. He is a great graphic designer. We worked on this behind the scenes, and it came out awesome. And you guys can now support it in the YouTube description for this video, and also in our About section is the official link to the Boy Green store. You guys can put that awesome logo on a variety of things. We've got pint glasses, we've got t-shirts, tank tops, sweaters, hoodies, you name it, you got it. And that money goes right back into this to support the show, for me to spend even more time getting cool guests, microphones, and all this other fun jazz. So I want to give a shout out to each and every one of you. Without you guys, this wouldn't have been possible. And I just can't believe for the first time in my life, I've got official Boy Green merch. I mean, that's amazing and outstanding. So I'm going to give a shout out to each and every one of you. So like I said, that is amazing. Also, I want your feedback, quite frankly. So two things here. First off, I'd like just your straight feedback on the logo. If you like it, things you don't like, whatever. And also, if you have the means to be able to purchase this puppy. Again, we got tank tops, sweaters, t-shirts, everything. We try to make it as affordable as possible so as many people can get it. For instance, there's a t-shirt on there for $15. $15. We're trying to make it as cheap as possible. And I'd love if you purchase any of this gear, whether you show me the online receipt or even when you officially officially get it when it ends up shipping out the first order, which is coming up here in a couple of days, I want you guys to tag me on social so I can see you wearing all your Boy Green merch wherever you are. I heard one of our Australia listeners ordered some of the Boy Green merch to wear it, and I can't wait to see it down under. So we're going to be seeing it everywhere. So this is awesome. All right, let's go into some of the comments first before we get this puppy started. We got Owen jumping on YouTube. What's up, man? What's popping, baby? And hope this is looking and sounding great. So that's great. Oh, and JETS Jets on YouTube. Looking sounds great. I love it. I love the update for the show. This is going to be amazing. So I'm glad that, again, thank you guys so much for the support. Owen again, yes, sir. Go Jets. Brian Still. Howdy, sir. Howdy diddly. How we doing? And let's go to NYJ. Maddie, is Q getting paid today or no? Let's get into that a little bit. We'll probably do a bigger video on this, but it is an article I just wrote just before I jumped on here. In case you guys missed it, Brad Spielberger of Pro Football Focus, and they also do extra work with ESPN Plus. So sometimes you'll see an ESPN article and you'll assume it's just ESPN, but sometimes it's kind of a hired mercenary for their extra work on ESPN Plus. That is the case here. Brad Spielberger projected some of the big contracts they're going to be seeing here in the near future, and he had his projections for Quinnen Williams, which, by the way, in case you don't know, he is eligible for a contract extension, or even to discuss it for the first time in his entire career this offseason. That's how the CBA works. So he was allowed to discuss a contract extension. Now, the Jets earlier this offseason exercised his fifth-year option, so they do have him under contract for the next 2 years, but the big shish kebab here is whether you pay him now, whether you pay him later, because I think there are strong arguments for both sides really on Quinnen Williams, because if you pay him proactively like this offseason, by the way, I'll just tell you, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Jets are going to wait. But if you pay him proactively like this offseason, I think you could save a couple of bucks, because I think inevitably he's going to be better in 2022. I mean, how could he not? He's entering the second year of the system. He's going to have more talent around him. Like, he should be playing a lot better. So the Jets could be making a really good bet by saying, oh, let's just pay him. We're going to pay him either way. Let's just pay him now, save a few pennies. It does not appear the Jets are going to be operating in that procedure. So to answer the first part of that, it does not sound like he's going to get paid early. Just the numbers kind of came out on the projection, which, like I said, we'll get into in just a second. So no, I do not believe he gets paid today. No, I do not believe he gets paid this offseason. I believe ultimately he gets paid next offseason. Now, again, I said if you pay him proactively, they being the Jets, okay, you're going to save some money. However, the Jets are likely going to choose to wait, and here's why. By waiting, they guarantee they see it, because a fair criticism, a fair concern about Quinnen Williams would be that Quinnen Williams hasn't showed it yet. He's been a very good player. And I'll read you some of the stats from my article. Again, you can check it out. Heavy on Jets. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. That fancy title basically means I just write articles every day covering the New York Jets. And in my article that I just dropped, it's Jetstar projected to land $102 million contract. Again, I'm going to get into all the numbers right now here from Brad Spielberger. Again, by waiting, you're guaranteeing you're going to see the it factor from Quinnen Williams that you have not seen yet so far. And thus, the Jets would be comfortable paying how much more money that is, because they will have seen it. It's not a projection. It's not a belief. It's like, wow, there it is. Okay, boom. We thought he was going to be good in our system. The 2022 season was amazing. I'm just speculating here what could happen. And then, great, let's pay him the bag. Let's give it to him. We want to pay good players. Quinnen Williams, the right type of guy, all that stuff. Let's do it. Now, here are the projected numbers. This is from Brad Spielberger. He works for Pro Football Focus, and he's a contract wizard. And here are his projections based on all his analysis and everything else and how much Quinnen Williams could get. This is from Brad Spielberger. $102.5 million on a 5-year deal. That's a $20.5 million per year average, with $65 million in total guarantees. Now, I like providing context, and I did in my article, so I'll give you guys a few nuggets from this. That would immediately become the largest contract in New York Jets history. The largest contract. in New York Jets history. That would top CJ Mosley's total number, which was $85 million a couple years ago, and it would also top his average per year, which was $17 million per year. This new deal with Quinnen, in a projected sense, would be $20.5 million per year. So there's some context from that perspective. Additionally, he would become the third highest paid defensive tackle in the league, only behind Aaron Donald. You may have heard of that guy at 22.5, and DeForest Buckner of the Indianapolis Colts. So again, is he getting paid today? No. Is he getting paid this offseason? I don't think so. I think ultimately they wait and they pay him, and he's going to get that kind of bag. Now, is he a $102 million player right now? No, I don't think he is. But you know what? It's kind of like I bring this up often with quarterbacks, right? Whatever your quarterback is, right? Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, whoever your guy is, they're your quarterback. Now, you could say they're not as good as other insert quarterbacks, but that's the best you have at the time, and you have no other choice but to pay your own guy. So I see that in a very Quinnen Williams-esque kind of light. That, again, is he as good as Aaron Donald? No. Is he as good as DeForest Buckner? No. But he's your guy. He's your guy you drafted, you developed, you honed in on, and you're going to pay him one way or another. The Jets are not going to let Quinnen Williams go. They're going to pay him. And quite frankly, over the last batch of years, they haven't drafted well enough to have anyone to pay. So it's been kind of a third world problem, not a first world problem, because your cap space health has been good because you've had no one to pay, but you'd much rather have someone to pay than not. So long story short, I think Quinnen Williams will eventually get the bag, and that's the kind of money it's going to be looking at. So I see a lot of people going crazy on Twitter right now saying, oh, man, that's crazy. He's never going to get that kind of money. Well, just remember, I told you this on, May 25th at 10:50 a.m. So he's not getting paid today, but that's coming up. TJ Decker, hey, Paul, what's popping, baby? Jose, good morning. Yes, I'm not normally doing a good morning Jet Zone, but I like it. That's great. Let's go to TJ Decker here. Quinn needs to really step up if he's going to get paid. Can't justify paying him $20 million a year. And again, that's the money. That's the asking price. We will see. Will Quinnen take a deal? Now, it's interesting. Maybe we'll play that clip later. But, Quinnen Williams had, and I will say it was a refreshing perspective when he was kind of asked, like, man, other players from your 2019 class are kind of raising a stink saying, hey, man, like, where's my money? And Quinnen has been very quiet. He's like, hey, I'm not worried about money. That's not on my heart. That's not on my mind. I'm fine with where I am as a player. The contract will figure itself out. That was a verbatim quote from Quinnen Williams at OTA. So you know what? I really like that perspective. But again, TJ, you better get with the program, man, because that's the kind of money it's going to be costing here. Let's go back to Owen here. What contract would you offer Williams if you had to offer him right now? If I had to offer him a contract right now, I think I could probably get him at that number of like 17, 18, 19, somewhere in that range. It's kind of a big range, but 17, 18, 19, where per year range on a long-term deal, whether that's 4 or 5 years. And you would save money. So you'd save whatever that ends up being, right? So it's probably like $15 million, something in totality. And then you alter the guarantees probably a little bit. But again, that's the risk. If you pay him now, you haven't seen it yet, so you're projecting. But again, I think it's a pretty good bet because of the talent around him, the scheme, and Saleh just believes in the talent. And Saleh, if you're going to give anyone the benefit of the doubt, Saleh is going to be the guy. That's about the contract. So it'd be, let's do the math real quick. So that'd be 30, 60, 75. Let's call it like $85 million on like a 5-year deal, something like that. 85 to 90 million on a 5-year deal. And TJ, again, right now, no more than 14, 15. I'm telling you, man, that's just a market. Look at the highest paid defensive tackles in the league right now. And I know you may say, I don't see it, but I'm telling you, that's the money that he would get right now if it was going to happen. And Owen, I pay him 12 to 15. Again, guys, I'm just telling you, boys, that it is going to be big time money. Now, you may not agree with it, but that's going to be the money that's coming in. I'm just trying to let you know. Jose here. I've seen the it factor look, who he has play with garbage around him. Yeah, the thing that I like about him, beyond just the quote that came out yesterday in OTAs, which is great, and also like when he was hurt, he always came back out there and was playing for his teammates in seasons that were lost. Like he had nothing to gain. He should have just sat out. In theory, players normally just sit out for themselves and say, hey, man, I got to worry about myself. And he worries about the team. So that's always cool. And let's bring it in. Let's try it out on the new mic. Crew! Dark Soldier enters the chat. There he is. Phenomenal. And let's go to TJ Decker. He's not had quote unquote garbage around him. I think garbage is a little over the top, but he hasn't had the great superstar edge rushers around him. That's for sure. He's kind of had to do it a lot by himself. But now with all this talent around him, that would no longer be the case, which inevitably, like I said, should kind of help him from that perspective. Okay, let's go through a couple of these comments and we'll get into some other of the topics here. Look at Q stats. Based on number stats he's had, you'd be surprised how well he did. That's also true. I think, when you don't just see sacks, like that's what a lot of us fans are in love with because sacks are the sexy number. There's a lot of advanced PFF analytical data that really loves Quinnen Williams. So that's also another thing as well. TJ Decker, the money is fine, permitting he earns it. Well, we'll see ultimately if he does. But I'm telling you, even if they signed him this offseason, it would still be a record-breaking deal. It would still probably top CJ Mosley's 85 total million on a long-term deal. I would imagine that as well. Let's see. Owen, appreciate the heads up and perspective. You're probably right. I hope he takes a Fletcher Cox type leap. That would be cool. Certainly from the pass rush perspective of Fletcher Cox. Also the run stuffing would be brilliant as well. Again, everybody, we're right here on the Jet Zone, a weekly New York Jets podcast. Got a brand new mic and all this fun jazz. I want to try this. This is something we haven't really done on the show before, but I definitely want to add this in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play you a clip from Zach Wilson because the video headline is, of course, Zach Wilson is stacked because he added some chutzpah. He added some Brutus beefcake to the frame, and I really love this answer. We'll have the question and answer here from Connor Hughes on old Zach Wilson. Believing or not, he has the pieces around him to succeed. Let's go over here to Zach Wilson.
Zach, a lot of when young quarterbacks developing, a lot of people talk about surrounding him with talent and putting the pieces around him to create an environment where he can have success. Do you believe that's happened for you? Do you believe that you have everything that you need to be a really successful quarterback in this league?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like the entire staff, GM from the top all the way down, from ownership down, and I feel like those guys have done a good job just getting the pieces that we need. And I think that comes back to my job of now I need to do my job of getting these playmakers the ball. How can I let these big tight ends, these really good receivers, these running backs get the ball in space and let them do what we brought them?
I mean, that's it right there. That is 100% it. It is about Zach Wilson doing his job. Now, this isn't breaking news, but obviously the Jets front office, the general manager, the head coach, the entire team from pillar to post, from pillar to post, this team has added the proper tools for Zach Wilson to succeed. And of course, I mean, that is really it. In terms of that, is that it is about Zach Wilson, again, taking that next step, taking that next leap to truly making it happen for him. And really, as Connor Hughes kind of put it there, Zach Wilson truly believes that. Now it's his job to be the point guard. It is his job to be the point guard for this team and to make some of these things happen and be able to distribute the ball to the playmakers, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and Garrett Wilson, C.J. Uzomah, Tyler Conklin. Again, the fact of the matter that we're having all these names kind of, move their way through, I think, is really impressive and really telling from that perspective. So, again, it's great to hear that from Zach Wilson. And ultimately, we got to see. But I got to tell you, quite frankly, and I put some of the pictures out on social media, that Zach Wilson is looking absolutely thick. And really, you could see it in the face. You could see it in the legs. He's just really added some weight. And let me get up the specific numbers here on the weight. Zach Wilson at the end of last season weighed in at 208 pounds. He is now at 221 pounds. He wants to play at 218. That is the weight he wants to play at. Now, Zach Wilson got injured last year. Now, I don't know if, proper weight and body mass was the reason that Zach Wilson injured his PCL. But the fact of the matter is, quite frankly, you want him to build himself up as much as possible. And it's a fine line because you want to build yourself up from a weight perspective, but also be able to maintain your athleticism and your speed, because his ability to evade pass rushers inside the pocket was a really cool trait for Zach Wilson last season. And that is going to be a calling card of sorts as we continue and progress to move forward. So that's going to have to continue to happen here from that length for him to be able to do all the things that we need him to do. But I love the beef. I love adding the beef to it because, again, the NFL is a violent game, and we're expanding further than we ever have before with a 17-game season. It is of the utmost importance that Zach Wilson is able to stay healthy because, as we saw last year, if you're not healthy, despite the health of the Jets quarterback room, which, again, you got Joe Flacco, who, okay, you got Mike White, okay, you've got guys there, but we all want to see Zach Wilson stay healthy. We all want to see it from that perspective. And I love that he's doing it of his own accord, that he is doing it of his own accord to do whatever is necessary to make these things happen. And I think that, to me, that is absolutely brilliant. I'll also give a shout out to anyone who's watching on YouTube right now, okay? Make sure you jump on the super chat. You can send either emoji your question and guarantee your question gets answered. I always try to answer everyone's questions, but that guarantees that you cut the line once things start popping, locking, and dropping here on the podcast. All right, let's keep adding here. TJ Decker. Paul, with all the new offensive additions, do you think it's going to take them a bit to get rolling? Is it unrealistic to expect them to be a decent offense right out of the gate? It's a fair question, TJ, because, again, you have Garrett Wilson, C.J. Uzomah, Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert. The tight end room is completely new. You have new wide receiver pieces, but also some old, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios. To me, though, I don't think it's going to take them a bit to get rolling, quite frankly. Because, first off, you have a level of continuity, especially a quarterback and offensive coordinator. I think those are two very important positions to have that level of continuity with. And then you have Breece Hall in the backfield, of course, as well. But you can slowly integrate those other pieces. But I don't think that has to mean the offense in itself has to take a while to get going. Because you have all those other pieces kind of working in there offensively. I think really, so here's the thing. When you add new pieces to the realm, okay, they can just have a particular play set, okay? So Breece Hall has this bang of plays. Garrett Wilson is available for this. And then you have the full-fledged offense, but as you're working in the new pieces, situationally, you're going to be able to rotate them in. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, the tight ends, okay? So not really. I don't think it has to be, I think they can. And so to answer the second part of your question, is it unrealistic to expect them to be a decent offense right out of the gate? Absolutely not. I think we worked through a lot of the, bumps in the road, so to speak, when Mike LaFleur, a first-time play caller, was just kind of winging it, for lack of a better sense, in last season. And then he kind of figured himself out. Now he knows what works. He knows what doesn't work. And I think that natural progression through things, obviously, is going to be able to make things pop immediately. And again, I just can't wait to score points, right? Because we've had so many seasons start, TJ, where the Jets will be kind of slow out of the gate, three and out this, and then you're just, the offense doesn't click. We've had some seasons. I remember a bunch of years ago, the Jets Buffalo season opener, they scored like 48 points. I remember that preseason they scored like no points, and people were like, "Oh boy, man, not looking great." And then all of a sudden they came out of nowhere, like Jeremy Curley, and I think Marty had a pick six in that game, and we kind of popped. And I think we could get some juice right from the get-go. I think that's what the perspective. And now it's going to be difficult. Baltimore is a really tough team, and they've added more to the secondary in particular. But you have 4 months to prepare. You can't just roll over and die. You just have to figure it out. Let's go to another TJ Decker question here. If the defense lives up to the potential, where could we see them finish? Now, again, kind of in the same sense on both questions, although the offense finished respectable from a Jets perspective. Okay. For the defense, they were like dead last in several key categories. For me, I think a realistic jump, if they live up to their potential, you're in that, 18, 15 range. Again, there's going to be a lot of proof. I don't want to go too far beyond that until the proof is in the pudding. Maybe they make a even quantum leap higher than that, but I think that's kind of the range you're shooting for. The same thing offensively, by the way, for that matter. It's kind of bumping your way up. But it's not even just the overall yards per game that I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking at situational key statistics in terms of pressure rate, sacks, secondary play for sure is going to be up there. And then one of the biggest ones that we just have to see, again, they have done nothing to improve that unit outside of improving all the pieces around it. And by virtue, they're hoping for a trickle-down effect is run defense. They were god-awful last year. I mean, it was Moses parting the friggin' Red Sea, man. I mean, it was terrible out there. So we're going to have to see. And again, you're going to get that number one challenge right from the get-go of the Baltimore Ravens, who just have this unique offense, and they're one of the best rushing teams in the league. I mean, they have been the best rushing team in the league with the quarterbacks, the running backs, the health. They're going to be getting back. So it will be quite a challenge right from the get-go against the Baltimore Ravens. But that's the one that I have circled to try to see, again, how do they respond to the adversity of something of that nature. TJ Decker, excuse me. I just want to see them start fast. They played their best ball in the second half. Time to start seeing complete games. 100%. That's a good thing, too, is that the coaching staffs for the Jets, had great second half adjustments, but you can't just play 30 minutes of a game and hope to win games, okay? You need to have a level of consistency. You need to start popping and making those things going to happen. And until you start starting games and having a respectable game plan off the get-go, you're just not going to be able to be good enough to overcome that kind of fall right off the get-go. Gmo, Jets going to have more than 10 wins this season. I love it, Gmo. I love the confidence. I love the swag. When I did my official Jets prediction party thing what was that? Like 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, I had them around 8-9, 9-8. But again, it all depends on the Zach Wilson leap. If he has the leap, then your ceiling can be whatever the hell you want it to be. That's just the brutal truth, is how good he is changes the ceiling and can crush all these people for one reason or another. We're definitely going to play this one because speaking of these kind of predictions, let's go over to Stephen A. Smith, who, in case you guys missed it, and you're about to hear the clip right now from Stephen A. Smith about what he believes the Jets are going to be. And I'm going to be honest, I couldn't believe a lot of the things he was saying, but you know what? It's only fair to play his full video and get full context on this to try to understand where Stephen A. Smith, obviously diehard Jets fan, was coming from here. So we're gonna bring that up on the screen right now here. 1 second here. Let's go over and bring up old Stephen A. here, and we will hear his full take on this. Here is going to be Stephen A. Smith on the New York Jets and where he believes they're going to finish.
Something is wrong with you, bro. Something is absolutely positively wrong.
Well, let's talk about it.
I gotta seriously say to you that if it wasn't for Adam Gase, I think you sound high. I mean, you got to be kidding me. The New York Jets are in this division, and you talk about the Patriots have to worry about being in last place in the NFC. The New York Jets, okay? I mean, they regressed to a point where Fireman Ed said, you know what, let me retire from putting out fires, because that's how bad the New York Jets are, okay? Don't get me started with him, all right? I mean, my boy Jeff in California, I mean, he walking around, I mean, he damn near ready to hide his Jets jersey. The New York Jets, you mean Zach Wilson, the quarterback, had 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, didn't even throw for 3,000 yards. You mean the New York Jets with Coach Robert Saleh? Did I pronounce his name right? I think it's Saleh. I'm not making fun of it.
Saleh.
I'm trying to make sure.
Saleh.
Okay, that's Robert Saleh, right? Listen, this brother was a big-time defensive coordinator in San Francisco. We know this. He got the job at the New York Jets. They ranked dead last in points allowed, dead last in yards allowed, bottom 3 against the pass and the damn rush. And defense is your signature. I know it was his rookie year, but damn it, I mean, come on now. Don't get me started with them offensively. I see they got some weapons. I know they could play Mims and the crew. They could play Corey Davis and them. I get all of that. But the point is, at the end of the day, the New England Patriots got to worry about being in last place when the last time the New York Jets were relevant from a championship perspective was when Broadway Joe was their quarterback walking around in tight shorts in 1969. You know, are you kidding me? I know Bill Parcells got him in a couple of AFC championship games. Rex Ryan did as well. But the bottom line is the New England Patriots don't have nothing to worry about last place. That's reserved for the New York Jets.
All right.
You need to stop that.
Well, okay, Stephen A. Smith. You know, there's a couple of things there that C-Mod. First off, Mims and crew. When's the last game Stephen A. Smith watched when he was talking about the quote-unquote, I know they got talent, they got Denzel, Mims, and crew. Denzel Mims and Gru, what the hell are you talking about? Stephen A. Smith. He must be part of the Mims Stands Club. But, you know, the last time they were relevant from a championship perspective was when Joe Namath was wearing tight shorts in 1969. I don't know. AFC championship run at the end of the 90s with Bill Parcells, a couple Rex Ryan years. Okay. I just, you know, here's the thing, Stephen A. Smith. And the reason why I shared out that clip, because a lot of people, I've been sharing out all the clips of the people that have, called out the Jets in one form or another. I've decided, I've put the onus on myself that I want to tweet those out. Brady Quinn, you guys saw that. I tweeted out that clip at 200,000 views. Stephen A. Smith, what's that one up to, by the way? That's up to 27,000 views. Cool. What I'm trying to do by giving a spotlight to some of these people that are calling out the Jets, because people are asking me all the time, Paul, why the hell do you care about what Stephen A. Smith says? It's clickbait. It's this, it's that. I'm keeping receipts. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Stephen A. Smith clearly hasn't watched a Jets game in like 20 years, which is fine. He doesn't have to. But the reason why I'm giving these guys a platform on my show, on my Twitter, is because I'm keeping receipts. Because what I want to see happen is when the Jets are good and when they are smacking people around later this season, I want the Jets Twitter account to grab a few of these receipt files from old boy Green, and I want them to make a highlight reel of all the people of Brady Quinn said they may be 1-8, 0-9 to start the season. Stephen A. Smith, man, the last place is reserved for the New York Jets. What I want to see is the Jets grab some of these clips and put them all together, and then we can all laugh about them in a couple of months. That's why I do it. I'm keeping the receipts because I believe the Jets are going to surprise a lot of people this season. I claim to be the most optimistic Jets fan on the planet, and that is true. But I'm going to tell you, when I look at the schedule, I see opportunity, and we have to see what happens here from a variety of perspectives. There's a lot of new coming into the team with offense, defense, and everything else. I got to tell you here, I'm a believer. And at some point, you're either a believer or you're not. That's it. That's how some people evaluate things. You either believe or you don't believe. Obviously, Brady Quinn, Stephen A. Smith, they do not believe. And that's fine. But I am keeping those gosh darn receipts as close to me as possible because I am going to enjoy. I'm going to enjoy when the Jets get to throw it in their face. So I can't wait for that moment. Speaking of all that, I do want to get a couple other notes and quotes in here. I do want to give a major shout out. In case you guys missed it, I don't know how many Jet fans, by the way. I know I do it for my job. Again, as the New York Jets digital reporter for Every.com. I know I watch every press conference. In every press conference, to describe it fully, Robert Saleh speaks to the media several times. Zach Wilson, Quinn Williams, all these players speak to the media. And every time they speak to the media, I watch a full press conference from pillar to post for my job. So I'm curious. I don't know how many fans out there care. Do they listen to the selective videos that media members share? Do they go out of their way to listen to these full pressers? That I don't know. We could probably get a pulse of the fans on a future poll on that. But I'll tell you this, one, you should if you normally don't. And I would assume most fans don't watch every presser video. They kind of go about their lives and do other things, I'm sure. But if you're going to watch one, I would highly recommend watching the Vinny Curry presser from yesterday. It's available on the New York Jets YouTube or the New York Jets app, whichever you have readily available. I would always say that, or I would suggest in this particular instance for you guys to go watch a Vinny Curry presser. Vinny Curry, to kind of give you the quick synopsis for Vinny Curry, he was a veteran pass rusher, has been around the league. The Jets signed him last year, and he was supposed to be a rotational pass rusher. Unfortunately, it never came to be because of the medical checks and things for Vinny Curry. Well, Vinny Curry gave us the different side of the story. Basically, long story short, he was at home, hanging out at home, and he was running after one of his kids, and he felt this weird kind of pinch in his abdomen, somewhere in there. And he called up the Jets, gave him some things of what was going on. And basically, they discovered he had a rare blood disorder and he suffered a clot. And he had to go through all this stuff that and a large spleen that they had to remove, and they couldn't have physical contact for months. The long story short, Vinny Curry could not play last year, and many thought that his football career could be over in general. And Vinny Curry spoke to the media yesterday. He has re-signed. He re-signed with the Jets this year on a 1-year deal for like no money, but it's just cool that Vinny Curry spoke to the media and kind of walked us through how much more he appreciates his career. Again, he says he never took it for granted, but again, you just really look at it. And he was still a part of the team last year, and Zooms and all kinds of other things to be a part of the team. And man, it was just inspirational to hear, to be honest with you. So I want to give a shout out to Vinny. And again, if you really want to listen to it, it's just powerful, emotional stuff from Vinny Curry for a guy that just loves the game. And obviously he's got a couple of beautiful children at home and a wife and so much. And what he's given to everything, I just thought was really cool. It was a moving presser. And I tweeted out a clip yesterday, just a small snapshot, really. I mean, I could have just screen grabbed the entire presser because it was so moving, but I highly recommend checking that out for fans, by the way, who have not had the opportunity to do that yet. Let me throw a couple more at you, and then we can finish it off with some final questions before we wrap up the podcast here. And it's just really cool. I do want to bring up Elijah Vera Tucker, and I thought it was really cool that Elijah Tucker spoke with the media yesterday and really gave his first opinion on the position change that he is undergoing, and he gave us some cool behind the scenes really with the position change. And so let's go back to the beginning. NFL owners meetings. Robert Saleh, after the Jets sign a couple free agents, including Laken Tomlinson, announces to the room of Jets reporters that Laken Tomlinson is staying at left guard and Elijah Tucker is moving to right guard. That caused a mini ruckus on social media from fans, offensive line analysts, and everything saying, man, Elijah Tucker, by all accounts, had a really good year as a rookie. And now you're telling him to flip to another position. And again, if you haven't checked out my interview with Damian Woody, which again, by the way, we try to have superstar interviews as often as possible, you could check that out on the YouTube channel for that interview if you would like to get a taste of that. And Damian Woody, we were asking him about position changes on the offensive line and what goes into it. Because on Madden, right, we just flip left guard to right guard. It's no big deal. But what is it really for football players? Because obviously it's not that easy. And what Damian Woody said is it's like if you're writing right-handed, now you're writing left-handed, which for anyone who's not ambidextrous, right, that's an incredibly difficult thing to do. It's like almost impossible. And that's how he described the offensive line changing from one to the other. The good news is Elijah Tucker has experience. He had 2 years at USC where he played right guard. So it's not a completely foreign concept. And quite frankly, with all the injuries at USC, he was flipping all around the offensive line. So there's a little bit of musical chairs there. So anywho, like I said, back at the NFL owners meetings, Robert Saleh says they're going to switch. And a lot of people make a lot of hoopla. There was Duke Manyweather. There was, I'm trying to think of everybody, but there was just a bunch of people that said, oh boy, that's a questionable choice. Anywho, we had never heard from AVT on everything. We got to hear from him yesterday, and he said that as soon as the ink was dry, it was not in that sense, but like a verbal agreement between Laken Tomlinson and the Jets turned around, called Elijah Tucker immediately, according to AVT, and said, hey, are you cool moving to right guard? Is that something you'd be comfortable with? And he volunteered and said, I would love to. Let's make the change right now. And it just to be this team guy and doing whatever it takes for the team. And then he like was a fan for a second, said, you know what? How could a Pro Bowl left guard not make this team better? That's awesome. I love Laken Tomlinson. Come on down, baby. So it was just really cool. That was another cool thing that I saw from AVT that, again, is just really cool. This is a team. And I got to say, from the off the field stuff where Zach Wilson, Michael Carter, and all these guys are hanging out, having fun, and doing all these things, I don't know. This feels like one of the best teams we've had in a long time. A cohesive team where there's no individual personalities. Again, we've got a lot of funny characters on the team, which is cool. But in terms of each other, like it just seems like everyone supports each other. Everyone believes in each other. Everyone is about the team. And to me, that there's just something really cool about that. So that's one thing that certainly has stood out to me about this entire process. So, wow, I've been kind of wowed by the team that has been put together. And again, we're in May. We still got OTAs. We've got mandatory minicamp. Then we'll have this big gap of time that's going to be gone. and then we're going to have training camp and preseason and all that fun stuff. But it just does seem like there is excellent chemistry on this team. Now, will that be tangible into wins and losses? I mean, we're going to have to see. I can't just throw that around. I believe this team is going to be a winner. I believe this team is going to have a winning season. I believe this team is going to be in the playoffs, but we'll have to see ultimately what happens there. Let's go through a couple of comments here before we sign off for the Jet Zone. TJ Decker, I always listen to pressers. Okay, I've been a fan forever. And again, I think that's the cool, unique thing about me is that I get to work in the media and do media things, articles, interviews, all kinds of fun stuff like that. And I also get to be a fan. And I think that balance of being a fan, and I would consume it anyway, but now I'm getting paid to do it. I think it just really kind of breathes life into it in a lot of different ways. So, Owen, okay, you listen to the pressers too. That's cool. I wasn't sure. That was a genuine question on fans. I don't really know how those people feel. Matthias, there seems to be good chemistry, which is really important. No question about it. It certainly seems like, anyway, that there is great chemistry on this team. And that is something that, again, really, really stands out to me. Well, anybody, it looks like, let me just recap, make sure I got everything here. Yep, Quentin Williams, Vinny Curry, Thick, Zach Wilson, which, again, I love the Brutus Beefcake added to his frame and AVT. We'll also have another video. I don't want to just kind of throw it in here haphazardly. It's going to be another video released later this week. Plus, we have some fun interviews scheduled for this week, so stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you hit subscribe and have the bell notification there so you never miss a video. So we'll have a fun interview I have scheduled for later today that will drop later this week. And we have a pre-production video I want to get out there on a certain player that someone believes has Pro Bowl potential and is going to pop into another stratosphere. We got some fun notes and quotes for that. So like I said, I don't want to haphazardly kind of throw it in here without giving its proper love and respect. It's great to be back on. It's been a week since we've been on with you. And guys, I was kind of a little sick. It wasn't COVID, thank God, but I was a little sick, and I still have a couple more remnants of that here. But we're going to be getting a lot more interviews cranking up. There's going to be more content on the channel, so I hope that you guys can subscribe, if you haven't already, to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/boygreen25, and make sure you're part of the family. And if you already are, feel free to tell a friend and spread the good word of all of that as well. That would be beautiful. And I will do another shout out. We did it earlier in the show. Again, this is my new logo. I'm throwing it up on the screen now for my audio listeners. You can also check it out on my social media portals. It is the new Boy Green logo, and you guys can get this on pints, t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, sweaters, whatever you want. It is in the shop. It is in the YouTube description down below, so feel free to slap it on there. It's relatively cheap. You can get it and support the brand. And like I said, make sure you tag me when you get anything on social media, because I would love to see what you guys ended up diving into. I ordered a bunch of the merch myself, so I can't wait. It should be coming here in the next week or two. So I'm going to show you guys it on the videos. We'll be wearing it here. And my fiance got some too. So I can't wait to see how it all looks with a brand new logo. Again, shout out to Joe Branham for putting that together. All right, we'll be back on the channel later this week, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. I know this is a brand new setup. I heard a couple of people said it was lagging a little bit there because I'm streaming video and the mic now and everything else. So we're working on a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. So we're going to keep working and getting this this product better, the quality better, and all that other jazz as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back on the channel later this week, and we'll see you then for the Jet Zone right here on Sports War Radio, the Jet Zone on Facebook, the Jet Zone on Twitter, and of course, live on youtube.com/boygreen25. Thanks, everybody. See ya.